Welcome to 6 African Trade Talks, the show that brings you closer to the Interafrica trade business world. In this episode, our guest is Mrs. Denico Brand. Mrs. Brand is the National Sales Manager, South Africa for Maxe Premium Automotive Accessories. Denico, welcome to 6 African Trade Talks. How are you?
Very well, thanks. And yourself, Chad?
Very well, thank you. Denico, describe the nature of your business.
Sure, Chad. Maxe Premium Automotive Accessories, we manufacture a range of premium accessories predominantly for the light commercial, sports utility vehicles, medium commercials, heavies, and extra heavy vehicles. Traditionally, most people know Maxe as a bar manufacturer. So when we introduced ourselves to the market in 1997, just over 24 years ago, it was with a polished stainless steel nudge bar. If I'm not mistaken, the first one we did was for the Mitsubishi. Since then, we have grown to include a number of other accessories. So we do both polished stainless steel bars, black coated stainless steel bars, tonneau covers, and a host of other accessories, like I said, for pickups, SUVs, and trucks. But our focus is on motor vehicle accessories.
What are the company's short and long-term goals?
So in the short term, in 2019, we introduced a new range of accessories to the market called the Maxe Lifestyle Accessories range. So in the past, our products were always aimed more at the OEM dealer networks. So our products were predominantly sold through the dealers, the OEM's approved dealer channels. In 2019, we introduced ourselves to the fitment center market, so your traditionally known as your aftermarket. Our Maxe Lifestyle Accessories range, the idea of this range is to be a lot more dynamic. So to offer products that are new and unique and specifically conform to people's lifestyles. So to give you an idea, we introduced what's called a rear bar. So it's like a roll bar or a sports bar, but it sits on the back of the bakkie. So if you've got that and a traditional sports bar, you can put loading racks on it. And with that, you can load canoes, fishing rods, bicycles, whatever it is. So the idea is to position Maxe as a recreational accessory which complements people's lifestyles. The short term is to introduce this lifestyle range locally throughout South Africa, and then also to slowly start to introduce it throughout the African continent. Our long-term goals obviously are to drastically expand on this range with a number of other complementary lifestyle accessories, and then perhaps to expand our reach even further, looking towards Middle East, North Africa, and then even outside of the African continent, as far afield as we obviously can.
Interesting. I've seen a lot of bakkies with interesting accessories, so it's good to know where they come from. Describe the African market.
So for us, the African market outside of South Africa is quite a new market for Maxe. I mean, we have dabbled in it for, let's say, the last 3 years. About 3 years ago, we exhibited at Automechanica Dubai with the intention of trying to reach some of your North African countries, given the fact that we thought that would most likely be a hub where many of your North African trade customers would go. And we've got an export rep, Ryan, who does regular trips throughout Africa to try and learn more about the African market. So for us to be completely honest with you, the African market is still something we are deeply trying to understand. We do understand there is great opportunity for us throughout Africa, but obviously understanding that this is a very nuanced market. Some of the things that we have learned is that your new vehicle sales, for argument's sake, might not be as high in your sub-Saharan African countries outside of South Africa, your Central African countries. So we are trying to understand what the proverbial car park looks like within these countries, and then also having to understand their unique needs. Some countries, for example, are more developed than others. As a consequence of these layers of development means that some of our products potentially need to be different, potentially a little bit more robust. I mean, we do exceptionally well, for example, with our truck products throughout Africa. We've got a large or a great established consumer base out in Zambia, Malawi, etc., where we've done reasonably well over the years. But for us, like I said, this is a market that we are still trying to understand. We're looking for partners within these regions, within these countries, who are willing to speak to us, to help educate us about the dynamics, the vehicle sales, etc., within their respective regions, to help conduct a needs analysis of what products are required within their specific regions, so that we can help to tailor an offering which is region specific. So yeah, very much a learning exercise for us still.
Certainly, great opportunities in different regions in Africa, and the Africa trade coming together, which we'll talk about later, presents more opportunities, I believe. How do you expect the automotive show and forum at the Interafrica Trade Fair in Durban to support your goals?
Well, definitely from a networking perspective. So we are hoping to have engagements and interactions with numerous stakeholders who've come to the show from African countries, or perhaps people who are locally based, who have distributorships or relationships of their own. With a number of the delegates or potential opportunities which exist throughout Africa. So definitely from a networking perspective, and also from a brand recognition perspective, Maxe's got a very strong brand in South Africa. Many of our trade partners, our OEMs, fitment centers, whether they're aftermarket, doesn't matter who they are, have a strong brand recognition where Maxe is concerned. I think that is less so the further we go outside of South Africa. So we are hoping to create some sort of brand identity, brand recognition amongst the delegates and potential trade partners who visit the show.
Certainly. How significant is the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, and why?
So one of the things that makes it very difficult to export products is the layers of duties and markups, etc., that get put onto a product as it leaves the shores. And a free trade agreement definitely helps to bolster confidence from I've got to try and get my terminology correct here, people who are based in other countries who are looking to import products from neighboring countries like South Africa, for example. So having an agreement which exists between South Africa and numerous other African countries definitely helps to make trade easier. And let's be honest, one of the stumbling blocks with inter-country trade is when trade is difficult. So an agreement, a free trade agreement, which supports the flow of product across the borders within South Africa, within Africa, certainly makes a huge difference for manufacturers such as ourselves. So one of the things that I understand, and I could be incorrect in my assumption, it's my own assumption, is that South Africa is one of the main manufacturers within Africa. So we have a lot of raw material processing, we have a lot of manufacturing capability, etc., which may not exist in many other African countries. So we are well placed to be able to supply goods at various points of the manufacturing process. So whether a country is looking for fully completed products to be able to sell within their country, South Africa is well placed, or Maxe in South Africa is well placed to be able to support. If people are looking for products at various stages of manufacturing, so perhaps somebody's just looking for tube which is being rolled and they perhaps want to make their own accessories, again, we are able to support in terms of component parts which can be used by assembly plants within the various countries across Africa. So depending on what people need, this free trade agreement will definitely help the guys who are only looking for components or production parts, etc., right up to people who are looking for fully completed accessories, which they are then able to sell within their markets and be able to obtain it easily and at a price that makes it feasible and viable.
My business is growing. Thanks to Avocado Africa, digital marketing is the way to go. I get to know what my customers want and how they feel in real time. Besides, I choose how much to spend. I feel in control. If you want to take control of your marketing, contact Avocado Africa now. Visit www.avocadoafrica. Avocado Africa. We mind your business.
Africa is a continent full of potential, but potential means nothing if we don't take action to create value. Let us take action. Thank you for listening to this episode. Don't forget to post and share this episode on your social media platforms. It will help us reach our mission of sharing knowledge about Interafrica trade and making it available to as many people as possible. Let us grow our continent. We can go far, fast, together. If you can please leave a review on our podcast page or on Apple Podcasts. See you next time.